Okay, today's mini exercise is something I've actually never done before also. In the fascia workout we just did the other day, I began you with an exercise called pandiculation, which was sort of a free form stretch where you just got to move your body, kind of like a big exaggerated yawn, to figure out what feels good when you do movement. And that's probably the weirdest thing I usually ask you to do. Like normally Pilates is very directed, right, where you're just following my commands. But for you to become a better Pilates student where you're taking the lessons back outside of the studio, I don't need to train your muscles or your fascia, actually, really. I need to train your nervous system to be better at sensing stuff, sensing the environment, sensing the speed and the impact of your movement. And you're going to have the most immediate benefits from that part of training in your balance system. And so you can imagine, especially like walking in the dark or walking backwards, like when we can't really use our eyes to see where we're going. So today, we're just going to do an awareness exercise to make you think about a part of your body a different way than how you usually think about it. And it's just your hands. So how often do we touch our hands to each other? Unless we're clapping, which is a pretty quick event, we're not usually really connecting hand to hand and sensing them that way. So your mission is to move, again, like the pandiculation, but we're going to keep our hands together. And it could be palm to palm like this. You could go into a fist. You can just do fingertips. And in fact, I'd like you to kind of mix it up. So I'll keep talking to you while we go. And I'm going to do it with you, but why don't you do it with your eyes closed, still listening to my voice, but not focusing at all on what I'm doing, just feeling what you can sense in your body. And I'll do the same thing. So begin just at the hands. Feel the pressure of the hands pressing into each other. And I want you to start just moving your hands a little bit, what we call a micro movement, almost like your hands were dancing together. And right away, you can change the firmness of your contact, your fingertips being straight or bent, spread or together. And after you have a pretty good sense of the relationship just between the hands and how moving one will affect the other, I want you to start to move the hands like a team, still thinking micro movement, but begin to incorporate a little bit more of the knuckles, the wrists, and the heels of the hand. And then if you feel the urge, like the pandiculation, let that micro movement become something bigger. Remembering again, we're just trying not to separate the hands. When we used the pandiculation in the warm-up yesterday, I didn't really say too much about how to do it because it didn't matter. I just wanted you to start feeling your body and moving around to get ready for what was to come. Now I'm going to suggest you just stop right now and then start again from wherever you are, small at first. Maybe change the relationship between how the hands are touching each other. And then again, let it grow. So the idea of pandiculation, beyond just feeling good, we're also training your nervous system to observe stuff by doing novel movements, things that are not repetitive. Stop again, and then change it up. Your body is in the habit of repeating things, finding a groove and just doing it again and again. So the natural tendency is to get into a flow, almost like you're dancing. And I want this to be the opposite of that. Freeze again. Where every time you start to get into a groove, we pause and kind of wait for a new impulse to develop. Next time you switch gears, you don't even have to pause to do it. You could just do a brief pause and start moving another way. Why don't you keep your hands touching, but see how the movement changes, the experience changes for you if you start directing it from your left elbow. And then let that be the leader, just kind of bringing everything else in your body around. And let's get silly. Let's make it your left butt that's leading it. I pick your left butt because some idiot commented on one of my posts on the internet today that my daughter's twerking was offensive to him. And that makes me mad because I think it is our right as Americans to shake our butts however, whenever, and wherever we want to. So now today, you lead with your left butt in honor of Camilla's dancing on the internet. Freeze. Go back to your fingers. Make it your pinkies that are leading your motion. Now, your experience might be very different than mine, especially if you're new to doing pandiculation. It's natural to feel a little stiff and wonder if what you're doing is right, or you're almost holding back. It's one of the things I love about all of us working at home. It's like, who cares? Nobody can see you. But something I've noticed from years of doing this practice is that you are most likely to be doing it right, whatever it is, if your fingers and your toes feel like they have a mind of their own. Even when you're in big motion, a real lively full body experience usually has a little wiggle or give at the tips. Freeze. Let's just do one more time. Why don't you direct it with your toes? Your feet have been a good anchor point to the ground. What happens if you explore just letting them move a little bit to create a bit of a rotation or weight shift that we haven't really emphasized yet? Also, I gotta say, I've been honest and kept my eyes closed the whole time. It's gonna be fun. I usually don't like to watch my videos because I feel stupid, but I think I have to watch this one to make sure it's okay for you guys before you try it. I also have no sense of how long we've been doing it. So I think the moral of the story is you go ahead and take this into your life for however long you want to. A 1 minute exploration is worth it. A 5 minute exploration is worth it. If you're going longer, you might want to make up a couple more tricks besides your fingers. All right, I'm going to call that quits. All right, I hope this is a fun experiment for you today. It's a great way to just invigorate your body and reconnect with yourself for everything else you're going to do today. See you later.